Hi everyone, Preshus here. Today's video is all about the Warcraft Orcs. The Orcs are going to be a pretty unique race in that they're the only non-human race that's been consistently developed from the very beginning of the Warcraft story. Because of that, their character and their cultural development is going to be incredibly rich. If you're familiar with other fantasy stories like Lord of the Rings, then the word orc might bring to mind these huge evil monsters with bloodlust that want to rip off your face. While there is some of that in the Warcraft series, especially in World of Warcraft, you're going to see something totally different with the new orcs. Labeling them as barbaric or evil is really only looking at the story from one very narrow perspective. So like all the races in Warcraft, you're going to have some good guys and some bad guys, but there's not one race that's really good or bad. That's the real gem to the Warcraft storyline, is that it's so much more intricate than a simple good versus evil storyline. In this DoubleTake video, we're going to look more closely at the orcs in general. So there's a bit more to the story than what we got to see in the first war video. If you haven't already watched that, then click here to check that out. We're going to see a lot of the same characters, as well as quite a few new ones. So first, let's back up and talk about who the orcs were before they entered Azeroth. For thousands of years, the orcs lived peacefully in Draenor alongside the Draenei. A powerful shaman, Ner'zhul, ruled the orcish clans. The demon lord Kil'jaeden, yes, that's the same one who empowered Gul'dan with necromancy and fel magic, tricked Ner'zhul into believing that the Draenei were plotting to attack them. He told them that with his help they could defeat their enemies before they demolished the entire orcish race. So Kil'jaeden granted the orcs power in the form of the demonic blood curse, which left behind a violent bloodlust. It should be noted here that not all the orcs participated in drinking the blood of Manaroth. Draenei were murdered until they were almost completely wiped out. Out of enemies to kill and still under the effects of the blood curse, the orcs began fighting among themselves. Total chaos ensued and Draenei became barely inhabitable. Ner'zhul could not stand to see the orcs kill one another and began to mistrust Kil'jaeden. When he stepped down from power, Gul'dan gladly took his place and eventually led the way for the beginning of the First War in Azeroth. Orcs value strength, honor, and loyalty above all else. Their past is filled with rough times, like slaveries and betrayal and curses, but they've learned that the only way to survive is to fight. To preserve their culture and save their people, they are willing to do literally anything, which, yes, often includes the shameless slaughtering of a large number of people, which are usually humans, and that goal has often led outsiders to view them as barbaric and heartless, but nothing could be farther from the truth. The orcs are largely a shamanistic society, and it wasn't until the end of their time in Draenor that necromancy and demonic fel magic began to play a role in the orcs' lives. Due to the chaos that was surrounding the blood curse and the introduction of the necromancy, there are a lot of orcs who fear magic still and preferred the life of a warrior to their caster counterparts. Orcs feel their greatest sense of responsibility towards their clan. Bringing honor and preserving the survival of an orc's clan far surpasses any individual goals an orc may have, including the orc's own survival. The clan an orc belongs to defines everything, from the leader they follow to the way they manage conflict. While some clans are merciful and kind, others are going to be more ruthless. There are literally dozens of orcish clans that have developed over the last several generations. While not all of them have received great notoriety, there are about half a dozen or so whose actions have changed the course of history for the orcs. In this video, we will cover 5 of the major clans and their leaders, and these are the ones that any good orc player should know. The Frostwolf clan is one of the original clans of Draenor. Most importantly, they were one of the only clans who did not drink the blood of Manaroth, which tainted all of the other orcs. Free from the blood curse that plagued those who drank the Pit Lord's blood, they lacked the aggression and violence that tainted the hearts of the other orcs. This act also marked the Frostwolf clan as orc traitors. Exiled from the other clans, the Frostwolf clan fled from the Dark Portal and made their home in Ultrak Valley, which they still claim as their home to this day. While they are more merciful than many of the other orcish clans, the Frostwolf clan can be just as brutal when the situation calls for it. They have proved themselves as brave warriors throughout the 3 wars, but it is their strength of mind, their wisdom, and their undying loyalty to the orc race that defines them as a clan. The original Frostwolf clan leader was Durotan. The most important contribution Durotan gave to his tribe was the deep sense of love that he kept for all life. His mercy toward the Draenei and unwillingness to drink from the blood of Manaroth set the tone for the rest of the Frostwolf clan's history. He was a close friend of Orgrim Doomhammer, a fact that would come to play in his actions during the First War, While he originally led his clan from the Dark Portal to the Ultrak Mountains prior to the First War, his loyalty to the original Orcs, and not the fell-corrupted, blood-cursed ones, ultimately led to his death. You can learn how it all went down from my video on the First War. The blind shaman Drekthar took Durotan's place as leader of the Frostwolf clan in the Ultrak Mountains. Drekthar was not always loyal to Durotan. There was a short time in which he believed the lies Kil'jaeden and Gul'dan were spreading about the Draenei, and he even dabbed in the necromantic magic of the Warlock. It didn't take him long, however, to realize the error in his ways and revert back to his life as a shaman. This experience is what has ultimately led him to be the successful leader of the Frostwolf clan. Most notably, though, Drekthar is responsible for training Thrall after his escape from slavery. While Thrall, the son of Durotan, holds the birthright to the leadership of the Frostwolf clan, it's Drekthar who currently holds that title. He is also the all-important leader in the Ultrak Valley battleground, fighting for Horde victory in the mountains. As an infant, Thrall was discovered an orphan and was taken in by a human lord. He was not born with the name Thrall, but rather he was given that name, meaning slave. He lived a hard life, but eventually escaped his enslavement and went looking for the hidden Frostwolf clan. When he finally found them, he was trained in shamanism by Drekthar. Through a series of events, Thrall eventually took Orgrim Doomhammer's place as war chief. There's much, much more to Thrall's story, so much so that I plan to devote an entire video to him. For now, let it suffice to say that Thrall is the hero of the Orcish race. He's responsible for paving the way for the new Orcs of Warcraft, who are much more amicable than the old Orcs that were tainted with bloodlust. For now, we'll move on, and trust me when I say Thrall is completely awesome. The Blackrock clan is a group of fearsome orcs who hold fast to the traditions of the old orcs. They have no problem engaging in demonic worship, caring first and foremost for the empowerment of their race. The Blackrock clan played a huge role in the initial conflict with the Draenei and in the destruction of many Alliance forces in the Three Wars. They still exist in small numbers and can be found primarily in the Blackrock Spire and in the Burning Steppes. The first chieftain of the Blackrock clan was Blackhand. This is the same Blackhand who was manipulated into the position of war chief by Gul'dan. While his thirst for power made him an easy target for Gul'dan, Blackrock had proven himself as an outstanding warrior prior to his ascent to the war chief role. It was Blackhand who led the most formidable attacks against the Draenei during the conflict that preceded the First War. It wasn't long, though, that Blackhand was removed from his position of power and someone else took the reins for the Blackrock clan. Orgrim Doomhammer was Blackhand's second in command, and he eventually took over Blackhand's position when the former war chief was overthrown. This caused Orgrim to become both chieftain of the Blackrock clan and war chief of the entire Orcish horde. Doomhammer was an incredibly ferocious warrior. He led the horde at the end of the First War and throughout the Second, and his command allowed the Orcs to win great strides against the Alliance. In addition to his role as leader of the Orcish clans, Doomhammer also served as Thrall's mentor and worked with him to help free the Orcs from their internment camps. Eventually, Thrall would grant Orgrim the great honor of naming the Orcish capital after him, which of course is Orgrimmar. Prior to the First War in Gul'dan's reign, the Shadowmoon clan was the most heavily influential clan in Draenor. The Shadowmoon clan is built on the use of magic and consists primarily of spellcasting orcs, mostly warlocks. Like many groups whose motivations revolve around obtaining more and more magic, the Shadowmoon clan spent much of their energy searching for artifacts of great power. Many of the orcs associated with this clan became Fel Orcs, which are powered by their pit lord's blood. Essentially, it's a blood curse that causes the orcs to turn violent. There's going to be much, much more on this and on the Burning Legion in some upcoming videos, so stay tuned for that. Ner'zhul was the original leader of the Shadowmoon clan and was considered to be the unofficial leader of the Orcish clans. He practiced a dark form of shamanism that manipulated void magic in the place of the traditional elements. He was a well-loved and respected orc in Draenor, but lust for power ultimately got in the way of his success. Eventually, Ner'zhul played an important role in the Wrath of the Lich King, so stay tuned for that as well. The Warsong clan is a straight-up, ruthless clan of orcs. They are everything you'd expect from a group of bloodthirsty orcs. They are trained warriors with a fearsome penchant for killing anyone who gets in their way, and that includes making sure that no one interferes with their logging operations in the well-known Warsong Gulch battleground. These orcs are the epitome of strength. They fought hard against the blood curse that left many other orcs weak. They even used the blood curse to their advantage, making them stronger in battles that would have otherwise destroyed them. Grom Hellscream was the very first orc to drink from the blood of Manaroth, but he would eventually come to regret that decision, realizing that he was not granted power, but was shackled by the bloodlust. Keeping in mind that orcs value strength above all else, it shouldn't be a big shock that Grom was considered to be a hero among the orcs. He was greatly influential, and orcs easily rallied to him.
We will never be slaves!
Although he was largely responsible for bringing the blood curse to the orcs, he is also responsible for breaking the curse. Good friends with Thrall, together they slayed the pit lord Manaroth, and Thrall offered him some heartbreaking words of redemption in the end.
Thrall, the blood haze has lifted. The demon's fire has burnt out in my veins. I have freed myself. No, old friend. You've freed us all.
His tomb can even be found in Ashenvale with these words inscribed from Thrall himself. Here lies Gromish Hellscream. In many ways, the curse of our people began and ended with Grom. His name meant giant's heart in our ancient tongue. He earned that name 100-fold as he stood alone before the demon Manaroth and won our freedom with his blood. Loktar Ogar, big brother, may the Warsong never fade. Garrosh Hellscream was Grom's son and ultimately the leader of the Warsong clan. First and foremost, Garrosh was a fierce opponent of the Alliance. It was his sincerest hope to crush the Alliance once and for all. Ultimately, Garrosh takes the place of Thrall as the war chief of the Orcs, and is discovered to be a wildly unpredictable leader whose thirst for power and lust for bloodshed makes him a terrifying choice of war chief for both the Alliance and the Horde. Like his father, Garrosh is known much more for the events that took place at the end of his life than those things that he did at the beginning. While Garrosh was originally not too bad of a guy, he eventually inspired fear into the Horde, and he dishonored the Orcs by his actions. As such, he will most likely harbor a blackened reputation until the end of time. The Bleeding Hollow clan fought remarkably well in the first two wars. Their contributions in battle were invaluable in helping the Orcs achieve success in Azeroth. Most notably, though, is the interesting ritual undertaken by the chieftains of this clan. Before an orc can rise to a leadership position in the Bleeding Hollow clan, he must venture to a ritual chamber and gouge out one of his eyes. This action will grant him a vision revealing how he's going to die, and this information, they believe, will help him make the best possible decisions in leading the clan. It's not surprising, then, that the most famous leader took on the name Kilrog Deadeye, presumably from this very ritual itself. Like Grom Hellscream, Kilrog was one of the first to accept the blood of Manaroth. Kilrog was totally ruthless, killing anyone who would try to overthrow him, including his own sons. That's it for now, guys. Thank you so much for watching my videos. I have had so much fun making these, and I really hope that you are enjoying them as well and maybe learning a little bit from them that you didn't already know. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Also, leave some comments below just with any suggestions that you have and maybe some things that you want to see in some future lore videos. Make sure to also head over to my Twitter account and join in on any of the giveaways that I have going on. They're happening all the time. Lots of cool, fun prizes. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoy. Bye for now.